Ada and her golddigger husband. Once upon a time, in a small village in West Africa, there lived a beautiful and intelligent young woman named Ada. She was known far and wide for her wisdom and kindness. Ada was the daughter of a wealthy farmer, who owned vast lands filled with lush crops, and her family's wealth was the talk of the village. Many suitors came to ask for Ada's hand in marriage, but she was careful and wise, waiting for the right man who would love her for who she was, not for her wealth. One day, a handsome stranger named Chidi arrived in the village. He was charming, with a smooth tongue and a smile that could melt the hardest of hearts. Chidi quickly won the favor of many in the village with his sweet words and seemingly kind nature. But unknown to them, Chidi was a cunning golddigger, moving from village to village in search of a wealthy woman to marry so he could live off her riches. Chidi learned about Ada and her family's wealth and immediately set his eyes on her. He began to court her, showering her with compliments and promises of love. Ada, although cautious, was moved by Chidi's persistence and charm. Her parents, too, were impressed by the young man's demeanor and encouraged the match. Eventually, Ada agreed to marry Chidi, believing that she had finally found true love. After the wedding, Chidi wasted no time in showing his true colors. He began to pressure Ada to sell her father's lands and move to the city, where they could live a life of luxury. Ada, who was deeply connected to her roots and loved her family's land, refused. But Chidi was relentless, and soon Ada noticed that he was more interested in her wealth than in her. One day, Ada decided to test Chidi's love. She told him that a neighboring village was under attack and that they needed help. Ada proposed that they sell some of their lands to support the villagers. Chidi, thinking of the gold he would get from the sale, eagerly agreed. But instead of selling the land, Ada secretly told her father what Chidi had suggested, and they devised a plan to expose his true intentions. Ada's father pretended to sell the land, but instead of giving the gold to Chidi, he gave it to a wise elder in the village to hold for safekeeping. When Chidi asked for the gold, the elder told him that it had been used to help the neighboring village. Enraged, Chidi revealed his true nature, accusing Ada of tricking him and demanding the gold. The village elders, who had been suspicious of Chidi, gathered to hear his complaints. Ada stood before them and revealed everything: how Chidi had pressured her to sell her family's land, and how he had shown no concern for anything but the gold. The elders were furious and declared that Chidi had broken the sacred bonds of marriage by revealing his greedy heart. Chidi was banished from the village, left to wander the land with nothing but the clothes on his back. As for Ada, she remained in her village, continuing to care for her family's land with a renewed sense of purpose. She never remarried, but she lived a long and prosperous life, surrounded by her family and the people who truly loved her. And so, the tale of Ada and her golddigger husband was told from generation to generation, a reminder that true love cannot be bought with gold, and that those who seek to deceive others will always be exposed in the end.